dig the shirt. I went to the tattoo convention in Wildwood this weekend, and I got my cute little expensive skin t-shirts. One of the fun things of going to tattoo conventions, besides seeing all like the fun shows and all that stuff, is the clothes are fucking awesome. You find stuff you can't find anywhere else, and if you go usually the last day, you get some discount. So I went to the Inked. This is actually Inked Magazine's t-shirt. You can see it. Ink Addict magazine. I actually got 2 shirts for 40, and they're usually like 30 a piece. So I was like, hell yes. And it's funny because like I actually sort of don't believe the whole expensive skin thing, because my tattoo shop is not like most tattoo shops where they feel like if you spend a lot of money, obviously, you're getting a great tattoo. That's not always the case. I mean, we have some tattoo shops in my area that you can pay $300 for a tattoo and it's a fucking shitty tattoo. My shop actually is more based on the piece and the amount of effort into it. So you can get a great tattoo for $85 or a sleeve for $200 a session. Like, it's more affordable, beautiful work. We want you to walk out with something beautiful than walk out with something that you paid an arm and leg for that you can't afford to ever finish. Okay. Again, with that being said, let's talk the tattoos. Right. Okay, so my first one I have my back. I'm not going to show it because I fucking hate it. Well, actually, let's see if I can show it. I'm going to see if I can show it because it's sort of hard because it's on my back. So we're going to lift this shirt up and see what happens. Getting naked on camera, and it's only 3 minutes in the video. No, I'm kidding. If you see, I have this wonky-ass stupid star on my back. That was my first tattoo. So, life lesson, kids. Let me teach you something real quick. If you decide to get your first tattoo, first things first, just because you turned 18 does not mean you need to get a tattoo right away. The reason I say this is you have your whole life, and the things that you like at 18, you might not like at 28, 38, 48, and you're going to have a tattoo forever. And laser surgery sucks. Like, laser removal is expensive as fuck. And I also don't like when people remove their tattoos. I feel like they're removing part of their journal, if you will. But I wanted a pink skull on my back, and I got this tattoo when I was 24. My first tattoo was 24. And I wanted a pink skull on my back. And I had this whole set idea until I got to the tattoo shop that day, and I chickened out. I was like, I'm not like skulls in 10 years, so I'm going to get a pink star. So it's been 10 years, and I still like skulls. I have a star smack in the middle of my fucking back. I can't do anything with it, can't do anything with my back, and it's like faded and just fucking ugly. So definitely, if you go to a tattoo shop, when you already have your set design, and you go to the shop, and at that moment you change your mind, leave. I don't care if you've already put a deposit down, just leave. Because you never get a tattoo that you're not 100% positive on. Okay, so we'll go on. That was my first one. This is actually my second. These are my seconds. These are my hearts and crossbones. Now, this is, of course, it's so hard to see because this lighting fucking sucks in here because I have no actual lights anywhere. So I just have like one light in the background. This is my pretty little beautiful heart and my destroyed little stitched up button little fucked up heart and crossbone. This tattoo, as cheesy as it sounds, I got this tattoo the first time I ever got my heart broken because I said to myself, okay, this reminds me that love can be beautiful and love can be torturous, but either way, you're still the same person. Yeah, cheesy as fuck, but honestly, it helped me tattooing can be very therapeutic, and it helped me get through a really fucking hard breakup. So that's my little chest piece. I will be getting something here. Actually, my next tattoo is going to be right here. Downfall is when I got these done, they're a smidgen uneven. So whatever I put right here is going to be noticeable that these are not even. So I'm going to have to put something here and do a whole background to make it look like they're not even. Live and you learn, right? This is why I'm making these videos. So maybe you guys can learn from my mistakes. Okay. Some of the other ones I have. All right. This here, this is for my niece, Rebecca. Well, Becky Boo is what I call her. It is a sparrow. She passed away when she was 18. She got in the car with the wrong person, got in a car accident, died. She got a car with somebody who was drunk, unfortunately, and she was not drunk, she was sober, but she was with her best friend, and, you're 18, you can get away with everything, and sometimes you just don't make it. Well, before she got in this car accident, she was kind of coming up to where I live to get tattooed, and she wanted a sparrow. So I got a sparrow for her, and it says, I got this. And everyone's always like, why does it say I got this? Like, what does that mean? I'm going to put quotations over. I wasn't thinking at the time because I basically got this like a week after she passed away. And so it's been 5 years now, which is crazy. It does need a touch up because I used to wear smock at my other job. So I sort of rubbed it raw. Basically, it's just I got this because she had that kind of personality and nothing stopped her. Like, I got this was sort of what I describe her personality as. Like, nothing stops her. She got this. She fucking got this. So I got a little sparrow that says Becky Boo, and it has her birth date, which was 10/24/93, and unfortunately the day of her death, which was 8/18/12. So it's been 5 years. It'll be 5 years in like 2 days. I can't believe it. I will miss her terribly for the rest of my life. She was someone who's just like me. She was a little bit of a weirdo in my very normal family, and she could have done great things in this world. And I will always just never understand why she was gone. But That's life, right? But I got it so her eyes always looking at me. So if I ever miss her, I get to sort of give her a hug. Okay. This is one of the tattoos. I got this on my 28th birthday. It was supposed to be this big. I was living in Westchester, Pennsylvania at the time, before I met my wife, before I even got into the tattoo industry. It's, of course, a sugar skull. And I know, what a cliche. But if it makes any difference, people have the same tattoos, whatever, right? But it makes any difference. I actually really like the Day of the Dead, and not just for the aesthetic of it. Of course, the aesthetic, I like skulls, blah, blah, blah. But I actually like the idea that instead of making death this horrible, sad thing, that you celebrate death and you sort of you hang out with your dead loved ones and you have this whole celebration for them instead of just sadness and mourning. When I pass away, I want my funeral to be a fucking party. I don't want people to be crying and sad. I want music playing and dancing. And I'm a bubbly person and I want my funeral to be a bubbly event, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty much where I got this. Like, you only live once kind of tattoo. I actually told the tattoo artist, at this moved to Pennsylvania at the time, so I was looking for artists. And the guy that actually tattooed it is the same guy that tattooed like Bam Margera, which should have been red flag number one right there, but okay. I wanted a little tattoo about this big. I wanted a skull in the middle that was a sugar skull and just roses around it. I went a month beforehand because it's what you should do. You always go as much as you can, give them enough time to draw the artist. So I went about a month before my birthday because I wanted it on my birthday. I left a $50 deposit. You leave a deposit, that's the drawing fee. Nobody's gonna draw for you for free. So I left a $50 deposit, told him exactly what I wanted for my tattoo. Should have my birthday at 12. That was, I wanted the first appointment because I wanted to get it done that day and go enjoy my birthday. He showed up an hour late, so it was hard to like, okay, just because your tattoo artist does not give you reasons to be a dick. Sorry, doesn't. Still customer service. Still a very customer service based industry. I have learned that because I work in this industry now. Should have been an hour late. Said, why are you here again? And then spent another hour drawing the tattoo. But since it was my birthday and he showed me this, I said, let's do it. So I went with the biggest tattoo I ever had at the time. So when I first did it, it had no color. It was just an outline. The only thing that was colored was this. And he colored the blood blue and just the heart and a little bit of the orange. Now, mind you, this is a 10-year-old tattoo. So it does need, well, not 10 years old, but it's a pretty old tattoo. I put it in my 27th birthday then. I guess it was my 25th. Whatever, put me. It was a pretty old tattoo, so it does need some touch up, the color around the eyes and stuff. It needs some maintenance, but all tattoos always need maintenance. For the rest of your life, you will always need maintenance in tattoos. But this is my reminder of just sort of like how much I love the idea that death does not have to be a sad thing. It can be celebrated. It's, of course, going to be a sad thing, but you can still, even if they're gone, you can still remember them with the happiness and not always have to be sad about it. Okay, I'm not going to go any more order because I don't really remember the rest of them in order. This here, now, the first thing I always get on this is, I can't read the font. I don't want you to read the font. This is a very personal tattoo to me. It says, some may never live, but the crazy never die. It is a Hunter S. Thompson quote. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He is a guy that I usually am able to tell people who he is by telling him he's the person who wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He's one of my favorite writers of all time. And I'm also crazy. So it sort of helps me remember that, like, some may never live, but the crazy never die, to leave a mark on this world. Leave any kind of mark you can, leave a mark on this world. Now, if you see, I have little splatters of blood and I have little bats. Now, if you know anything about Hunter S. Thompson, a lot of his books have artwork by Ralph Steadman, and a lot of the artwork is pretty much this. If you ever read a Hunter S. Thompson book, you will see these little bats, the splatters, and this kind of disastrous mess. And that's what I wanted. So this was one of the tattoos, just to remind myself that this is who I am. This is who I am. I'm crazy, and there's nothing wrong with owning you're crazy. Okay, let's try this again. I had to pause it for a second because the dogs decided to come party in the room. Okay, so that's mostly what I have on this arm. So doot. It's almost like once you get started about tattoos, you forget you have tattoos. All right, so let's work on this arm here. Up here, I have my Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I have my Johnny. I have my Nail Bunny. This is, for people who don't know who Johnny the Homicidal Maniac is, was my favorite comic book as a kid. Also, it's the guy that did Invader Zim. Usually I say that, they're like, oh, it's Judah Vasquez. I love his artwork. I'm going to eventually do a whole entire sleeve based on, well, I guess a quarter sleeve or a half sleeve, whatever you call it, based on his work. It's going to have a background. It's going to have, a lot more characters that are in the book, but this is just the beginning of it. So I have Nail Bunny, which is Mr. Homicidal Maniac's little conscience here. So we have Nail Bunny and John the Homicidal Maniac. This here is my Knockout Girl. I got that done at the 2012 convention by my wife. As you see, it says Sid on it because that's her nickname. And it's just sort of like my homage to old school because I love old school tattoos. So my homage to old school tattoos. Okay, what else we got here? All right, so one of the first tattoos I ever got when I first met my wife was this here. We have my little lockets.
that goes down to the key. Ironically, this tattoo means I own the key to my own heart. Fuck love. Because at the time, I didn't realize I was going to fall in love with the person that did the tattoo. Also, I have a tattoo in the crook of my elbow because at the time I was an heroin addict and I wanted to be able to cover those shark marks.
Because I'm a smart junkie.
Looking back, obviously, I don't shoot up anymore, but at the time, that was some thought process on it. Okay, so I think it's really ironic that I got this tattoo and I fell in love with the person that did it. I got this tattoo the next day I went to the beach. Or no cover up, no suntan lotion, no fucking nothing. I tried to cover it with a shirt. I did everything you're not supposed to do with this tattoo. And just like my relationship when I first met my wife, I did everything possible to fuck it up. And I didn't fuck up the tattoo, and I didn't fuck up the relationship. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Okay, well, so what else I got? I got this. This is my little star. This actually was one of my really good friends' bands called Aretha Franklin. They're no longer a band, so we've switched it from Aretha Franklin to United Freaks because me and my wife have it, and we're pretty much United Freaks. All right. So I also have this. I've got a complicated case of escapism. It's a Sage Wrestler, favorite rapper of all time. If you look him up, I will leave a link in the bottom of his rhymes. He's more of like a sliver poet, in my personal opinion. And he's gotten me through a whole lot of stuff. I've got a complicated case of escapism. Saved my life because I spent a lot of time of escaping, and it sort of reminds me that I have a complicated issue with escaping things. This is just something my wife got a new machine she wanted to test out. I love Hello Kitty, so I want Hello Kitty, but I don't want the cutie little Hello Kitty over here. So I got a little ghost Hello Kitty. This is going to get more comments on this tattoo I have. People love this ugly tattoo. This is my poison bottle because why not? Life is poisonous. This is like the third tattoo I ever got. I got it by an apprentice at a tattoo shop in Westville, which is like near like the end of basically really close to Philly. It's a really good shop. It was the same person that did the same shop that did my chest. Did this one. Me and my best friend at the time got little hearts, little stars, excuse me. Mine has pink and green. She's like my favorite colors in the world. Hers she turned into like this pentagram Satan thing. We're not friends anymore, so I guess it's good that we don't really have a matching tattoo anymore. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, duh. This one. This says, in all this chaos, we found safety. Okay, I've always loved human hearts. I know, cliche as fuck, don't really care. Always loved human hearts, and this is actually in honor of my wife. Because I met her in the most chaotic time of my life, and in all this chaos, we found safety. In the worst time of my life, I found the most amazing person of my life. So this is sort of like, instead of getting her name or anything like that, this is her. Pretty much a lot of stuff, this arm is all dedicated to her, but this is her. In all this chaos, we found safety. All right, I also have finger tattoos. Now, one of my personal opinions on like hand tattoos, like actual hand tattoos, is you should be heavily tattooed. My shop personally, when someone wants hand tattoos, and I'm not talking about like how my fingers are tattooed, hand tattoos, neck tattoos, or face tattoos, you have to already be semi-heavily tattooed. And we're not doing it to be assholes. We're not doing it to be elitist. We do it because it's gonna fuck up you getting a job. Welcome to reality. I worked in retail a long ass time before I got into the body mod industry, and I had to wear long sleeves and I had to wear normal hair and wear it down all the time to cover up my inch earlobes and all that stuff. So I don't want to ever tattoo an 18-year-old on their hands so they can't ever get like a job in the future, because at 18 it might seem really cool to get a big skull in your hand. And then when you're 38 and you can't find a job because you got a fucking skull in your hand, you're going to be really pissed. So a lot of times we've had people come back and thank us for having us do that month waiting period. Because if you still want that on your hand, on your face, on your neck, anything like that, anywhere that's really noticeable, we make you wait a month. And if in a month you still want that tattoo, all right, we'll do it. Heavily tattooed or not. But we've actually had a lot of people come in and thank us for not letting them get that face tattoo, not letting them get that hand tattoo, because it will affect your life in the long run. It's just reality, guys. Unfortunately, even though tattoos are becoming a lot more commonplace and becoming a lot more acceptable in the world, there's still going to be jobs that are not going to want you to have, cut on your neck. Common sense. Okay. Hand tattoos. Ooh. All right. This is actually one of my favorite tattoos. It's so stupid. It's so cliche. It's so like just fucking dumb. But I love it so much. That's my little fuck you with love. Because I can be the nicest person in the world, but I can be a fucking cunt. And this is sort of my little like fuck you with love. The funny thing is though, I've done this tattoo on about 3 other people. And for the most part, I'm not friends with them anymore. This is like my unfriending tattoo. If I tattoo a friend with this tattoo, we end up not being friends. So no friends will ever get this tattoo again. I actually just tattooed somebody that I thought was sort of cool the other day with this tattoo, and it didn't go so well. Well, the tattoo went well, but now we're not in good terms. So this tattoo, something about this tattoo is like bad juju for other people. But I love it because I get to go to people. I have something cute on my fingers. All right, so I have the cliche of doll face on my knuckles. But see, I got doll face because my dad always called me baby doll, but I didn't want to get baby doll on me because it just seemed weird. So I got doll face because I do have a baby face. And it was actually all in white ink. You can see on this hand, it's mostly white ink. And then eventually, and they always say like white ink, oh, it doesn't last. This is a 6-year-old tattoo. Yeah, I'm very pale, so of course it's not standing out. But the reason it gets standing out because the time I was working in retail, so I didn't want anything that was gonna have to wear makeup on my hands every fucking day. Again, use that brain when you get them tattoos, guys. So I got my doll face. It was just white ink first. I only had to get touched up once, and then I decided I wanted pink on it because I wanted it to be a little more noticeable. I got the pink, and the funny thing is, I got the pink, and everybody thought I had really scraped out fucking knuckles. Because from far away, it looks like I just got scraped knuckles. And then one day, because I work at the tattoo shop, and when you're slow, you're like, what tattoos do I want to get? I decided to change the white to my favorite color, which is lime green. Woo, lime green. Well, lime green and pink, which are my favorite colors. However, in the middle of doing this, we got a client, and I'm never going to take time away from clients, so I have this still white and pink, and this one is green and pink. So eventually, the face will match the other doll. The face will match the doll. I have my little dagger on my finger because I like old school tattoos. I like knives. Work pretty well, right? I will eventually have all the tips of my fingers tattooed as well. I want my thumbs tattooed. I don't know if I ever want my hands tattooed. We'll eventually find out. I want to have more of a sleeve before I eventually get my hand tattooed. I have this. We were doing Friday the 13th tattoos. I actually am not a fan of working Friday the 13th events because it gets so crazy and so busy and it's like a 7-hour wait and people get pissy and it's like, you're doing $13 tattoo. Like, really? I mean, $13 tattoos. I really always wanted to go like goofy looking vet, and that's what I got. I always used to draw things with like weird little big eyes, like one eye bigger than the other, so I wanted it sort of me. I go goofy like me. Back here, this one's a little bit hard to show, so I'm gonna see if I can actually show it. My little candy heart, it says God. I want one on this side that says fuck you, but here's the thing, I still work in a job that I have to do with the public. So getting a fuck you tattoo was not going to work yet. Once I eventually just work at the tattoo shop, maybe I'll get fuck you, maybe I'll get cunt, maybe I'll get something else, who knows. This place though, if you are curious on the pain level, this was the best tattoo I have ever received. I fell asleep during it. It was fucking wonderful. I do have some leg tattoos, which I will make a video, and a thigh tattoo. I'll make a video separate for that ones. As for the rest of my body modifications, I have 4 lip rings and I have a labret. This was actually my first piercing ever was my eyebrow. Luckily, you can barely even see the scar, especially in this lighting, right? But my eyebrow was my first tattoo. Tattoo. My eyebrow was the first piercing when I was 18. Terrified, and it felt like nothing. Within about a month, I got my labret pierced. And this thing I've had longer than I like to admit because I'm old. This, unfortunately, recedes your gums. It does do bad things to your mouth. So I don't wear that one anymore. I would wear it if it didn't recede my gums. I did get, these are called shark bites, which I'm like, they're 4 lip rings. Like, that's stupid. Because spider bites, shark bites. I'm like, okay. But yeah, so these are my 4 lip rings. The reason these are okay is they don't actually hit my teeth. So I'm like, hell yes. I don't have my tongue pierced. I don't have scrunchies, like my scrumpy, my, frown, and no inner mouth piercings because I talk super fast. I will break all my teeth off. So this is as far as we go because I actually chipped my teeth on just these. I do have my septum. I have a very deviated septum. I've had it pierced twice, maybe 3 times, at this point. The first time I got it pierced, I not only sneeze the guy's face because dealing with your sinus area, it's gonna make your eyes water. It's gonna make you get this side of your nose pierced, this eye waters, this side waters. You get your septum, your whole eye waters, and you sneeze. Like sometimes, I sneeze straight into the guy's face. I sneezed the fuck guy's face. I was like 19 years old. He was heavily tattooed, super cute, whatever. And I sneezed right in his face. And now that I'm a body piercer, I would like laugh it off. Honestly, I would clean my face off and laugh it off because it's fucking funny. And he just was like. So I was just like, goodbye. Like, what do you say to that? So obviously never went back to that shop again. I have my bridge. It's a 14 gauge. I love, love, love my bridge, and it felt like nothing. I did have an anti-eyebrow. Unfortunately, it did reject. I've lost about 50 pounds since then. I want to lose another 50 pounds. I think my face will be a little thinner and I'll have a little more skin to grab because I actually do have higher cheekbones but pudgy cheeks. So I'm hoping when I lose a little more weight, I will be able to, have enough skin to hold that piercing because I loved it. It just didn't want to stay on me. My earlobes are an inch. They were an inch and a quarter, but they shrunk down a little bit more to an inch because you can't find a cute jewelry at an inch and a quarter. I used to be a representative for, oh God, is it Wild Buffalo? Mystic Buffalo? I don't know. Arctic Buffalo. That's it. Arctic Buffalo jewelry. And sorry, the jewelry sucks. It literally affected my fucking ears. I've had my ears stretched since 2000, and I never had any issues until I wore the fucking Arctic Buffalo earrings. So yeah, I wasn't a person for them very long. So I have them at an inch. These are actually from Metal Mafia, which is one of the best companies in the fucking world. I buy all my body jewelry from them. This actually, because my septum is so deviated, if you see it's really crooked, it's not because it's pierced, it's because when I was a little kid, because, at the beginning of the craziness, I used to slam my face into the ground when I would get mad. Why my parents got me in therapy at an earlier age? I don't know. That's a sign right there. She's a little crazy. So I broke the cartilage in my nose. Because of that, I will always have a very deviated to one side septum. The first time I got a pierce, it was so obvious that like one ball was here and one ball was like right here. So my wife actually pierced it crooked to make it look straight. Now this is the only clicker I've ever been able to wear that you can't really tell. I do move it a lot because a lot of times it does this because it's so fucking crooked. But I love it too much to get rid of it. I love my septum. So this actually makes it look a little bit like it's semi-even. Inside my actual ear, I have, this is my date. Honestly, it's the piercing for migraines, which actually does help for migraines. I have done tons of them, and about 95% it actually does help get rid of migraines. I don't have migraines. I just thought the jewelry was fucking cute. I ain't gonna lie. And I did want to see, because a lot of times people get this piercing don't get piercings. So I wanted to see how the healing was, how the, sort of like do an experiment for my clients of how the healing was, how the pain level was, all that kind of stuff. I'm not really good with cartilage piercings, so I will say it hurt. But if you have migraines, it's definitely worth it. A, it's cute, and B, it helps the migraines because pretty much it interrupts the nerve that gives you the migraines. So sometimes your migraine will move to the other side of your head, but sometimes it just actually gets rid of like the migraines or makes them a lot less severe or a lot less often. So I definitely recommend it if you do have migraines. This side I have a 14-inch conch, baby. No, I have a 14 gauge conch. This is actually 16 gauge in the earring. I just thought the earring was super cute. So it had a little sparkle, it's a little opal, again from Metal Mafia. All of my jewelry that I'm wearing right now is from Metal Mafia. They are one of the best companies. You can't order for their website unless you are a tattoo shop, but a lot of companies, I think Body Vibe actually sells their jewelry. Do not quote me on that though. Do look them up because they do make amazing quality jewelry. And it's all really fucking cute. So you can get cute jewelry for a good price and it's totally worth it. I do have my nipples pierced. They are pierced at a 14 gauge. The first time I got them done, I got them at a 16 gauge. My personal preference when I do nipple piercings is I lay the client down. It gets rid of the anxiety because I don't care. I have a ton of piercings. I still get nervous when I get piercings. I've had my nose pierced like 3 times and I was nervous every fucking time. And as you see, that didn't last very long because they're annoying. They're just fucking annoying. Anyway, I lay my clients down and I pierce them with a 14 gauge because all the cute jewelry comes in 14 gauge. I happen to have smaller nipples. It's just how my body is. The person that pierced me sitting up. So they were crooked and they were pierced with a 16 gauge. But since they hurt, because I mean, it didn't like intensely hurt, but it hurt. I didn't want to get them redone. So I had them fucked up for like 7 years. They were crooked. One was always irritated. If you have a piercing that is irritated constantly, go back to your piercer and ask questions. Because if I did, I probably wouldn't have had 7 years of fucking piercing that was irritated. Because literally I took them out. I'm like, why if we pierce them with a fucking 14 gauge? Have not had a problem fucking since then. So if you have any piercings, go back to your piercer and be like, hey, this one's a little irritated. If they don't want to deal with you, go somewhere else. Because a good piercer is going to want to take on the piercing for life. I did have industrials. They have both been taken out because honestly, they just rejected. I had them for so long. I had one that was like this and one that was like this. And I kept pulling on them and hitting them when I brushed my hair. And honestly, they started to reject. And I just was done with the fucking industrial, honestly. And never get them both at the same time because I got both at the same time. And trying to sleep is fucking fun when you have something that you can't hit your fucking ears. Also, I had my, what is it? Oh, my eyebrow. So my eyebrow, I think I told you about my lip. The lip is retired. The eyebrow is retired. The industrials are retired. And the anti-eyebrow is retired for right now. Yeah, so that's all the tattoos and piercings I have besides the body one, like the body ones, which I will show you right now. Hey guys. Okay, so I had to bust out my cell phone to take pictures of my legs. Okay, so let's see. This here, that's actually
Make that not crooked. This is my sobriety tattoo, so you can actually see it. It's an anchor. It says sturdy ground. It's all beat up. It's on pretty cherry blossoms. It was my sobriety tattoo. At the time, I really wanted a sobriety tattoo. Like, when you get off of hard drugs, like, you're very raw. So you feel like you need these things. Years later, I don't really want a sobriety tattoo. So I'm not really sure what to do with it. So it just sits there, barren, waiting for me to figure out what the fuck I want to do with it. All right, so me and my wife have a deal. Because I never want to take any time. Like, her job is a tattoo artist, so I don't want to make her work when she's not working. Like, that would just be fucking rude of me. There are people that date tattoo artists and a year are covered in fucking tattoos. I will not be that bitch. That is fucking rude. However, we always make a deal. I get a tattoo that I love, and then she does a tattoo that's for her portfolio, which I always end up loving anyway. So this one is an owl, that, of course, you know, I love nighttime and I love owls, but I wanted her just to do something she really wanted to do, and she wanted to do a very bright, hypercolored owl. So this is my hypercolor owl. If you see it, it has spiderweb eyes, which I'm like, yes, because I love spiderwebs. It's very bright colored. It definitely could use a little touch-up because it's a few years old, but I very much like it, and it has little pink toenails, which just fits me very well. Okay, and the, let's think, what else do I have? Oh, my thigh tattoo. This is my newest tattoo, and one of my favorites. I love murder. I love, like, true crime. I love murder. I love, like, serial killers, all that kind of fun stuff. I've always been, like, Unsolved Mysteries was, like, my favorite show since I was, like, 8. So I wanted Shannon to do something that was sort of like my homage to, crime and murder and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted her to do it in the trash polka style because I never really see trash polka. So she did this. This is my murder porn. We put murder porn because I always call it murder porn because that's pretty much what, like, watching, like, the true crime shows are. Now, I love things that are cute but evil, so hence the cute little Cupid doll with the upside down cross. This actual shoe print is from the Richard Ramirez crime scene. That's what they found beside the window. That's how he got caught, pretty much. You got your blood splatters, because I always love my blood splatters. And the funny thing is, I used to be a cutter. As you can see, I have scars all over my legs. There's actually a scar, like, across his face. And I'm like, it's almost like I knew I was eventually going to get a tattoo of a baby doll right there where the fucking scar is. So hooray! And this shows that you can tattoo over scars, and you don't really see them that much. So, yay. Now, if you look at my other thigh, actually is a little more fucked up than this thigh, and I'm going to get a tattoo over that one too. But honestly, I have one scar, because I'm a creep, I have one scar that I think is really pretty, so I don't really want to cover it up. So I'm going to show you my scars, like my own personal body modification, I guess you would call it. Oh, and also show you my first tattoo I ever did myself. This thing's horrible. So this is my star. This is before I learned that you really need to stretch the skin and do a star. It's shit. I'm going to cover it up. This is one of my favorite scars, as creepy and stupid and cliche as it sounds. So I don't ever want to get rid of it. So I'm going to do something like a little, like, frame around this. I'm not a cutter anymore, but it is a part of my life. It was how I dealt with things. So why hide who you are, right? Right. So the only other tattoo I have is I have one on my toe. I have 2 little dot eyes and a little carny looking mustache. It's like a little curly Q mustache. We had a thing called a mustache party at the tattoo shop, and I was like, let's do a tattoo on my toe. However, I hate my toes, so you ain't seeing it. Alright guys, thank you for watching this really long fucking video. If you have any questions about tattoos, or you like this little, like, series about talking about tattoos, let me know, because I think I'm going to do a little series on just tattoo talk in general. And, like, I'm an apprentice. I've been an apprentice for about a year, but a year part-time. So you can go on this journey with me on how to learn to be a tattoo artist. And basically everything about my own personal body modifications. The reason I modified my body is the reason, anybody doesn't, like, they dye their hair, they do anything to make yourself feel pretty. My artwork is like, almost like my armor. It's like my story, it's my journal. That's why I hate when people, like, erase all their tattoos, because I'm just like, dude, that was your journal, and I mean, I don't care about cover-ups. When people, like, just get rid of all their tattoos, I'm just like, that was who you were, or maybe that was never who you were and you just did it for attention. And then that just makes me sad. Alright guys, thanks, bye! Okay guys, I had to switch rooms because it's really hard to show you my thigh tattoo, so this will be the 3rd time I'm trying to show it. If it doesn't work this time, I give the fuck up, right? Right. Okay, this is my murder porn trash polka tattoo. I love creepy things. I love murder. Not that I love murder. I don't like people getting hurt, but I love serial killers and the psychotic mind and all that fun stuff. So I figured, why not have an homage to something that I really like? I also like things that are creepy but cute. And of course, upside down cross, because I love my little pentagrams and upside down crosses and things that are a little fucked up because I'm a little fucked up. This right here is actually the part of the footprint that Richard Ramirez left at one of his crime scenes. Also, you know, spatters, and this is all part of the trash polka design. And since I used to unfortunately be a cutter, there are some scars across his face, which I just think adds to the fucking tattoo. So hopefully you can now see it. If not, I will just show you a fucking picture and be done with it. Now, I'm gonna also show you my first tattoo I ever did it myself. I've been a tattoo apprentice for a year and a half, but I do it very part-time because you just don't make money doing a tattoo apprentice. Like, people think you become a tattoo artist and you're fucking rich. No. For the first, like, decade, you ain't making shit. So, that's just reality. I did a star on my thigh, and it was before I learned that you really have to do a proper stretch to get a good tattoo. So, this is the wonky-ass star that I did on my thigh. If I stretched it properly, it probably would have came out better. This will be covered up. Actually, in this tattoo, I had a little number 1, like, right probably, I'm gonna say right about here. That she actually was right here because she didn't cover it up with black. She didn't want to cover up. She was like, "It's your first tattoo," and I'm like, "Please get rid of it. It's horrible." So this is like my first, like, you know, not number 1 tattoo. I also have this little my own personal modification. I'm not glorifying cutting. Cutting is stupid. Very, very stupid. It's not something you should do. However, something about this one, I just sort of like how it healed, because it healed with so much scar tissue that I'm going to probably just put something around it just to make it sort of pretty and then cover up the rest. And I'm also going to do another murder case on this part of my thigh, but that's the first one, so welcome to my body modifications. Okay, if you made it this far, thank you so much. If you do like this video, leave it a like, because I think I might do a little series on tattoos in general, because I feel like I have a semi-good amount of information on tattoos and piercings. You can sort of follow me on my journey to become a tattoo artist. So if you have any questions, any comments, leave them below. And if you made it this far, thank you so much, because the video was long as hell. Alright guys, bye!